Good morning students. In the previous class, 9th class NS subject, I completed second lesson plant tissues. No? In that, I explained 4 types of tissues. That is meristematic tissue, dermal tissue, vascular tissue, ground tissue. Okay. Now, I will draw the diagram of TS of dicot stem. TS of dicot stem. Very important children. You also draw along with me. What is meant by TS? TS means transverse section. Transverse section means if you will cut the stem horizontally, that is called transverse section. What is meant by dicot stem? Already explained in previous class. At the time of seed germination, if the seed break down into 2 parts, that is called a dicot stem. Example of dicot stem are neem, tamarind, etc. are dicot stems. So take a plant, whether it is neem or tamarind, and take thin section from it. Cut a thin section from it, keep it in a slide, put a drop of red ink, glycerin on it, and if you look at the microscope, you can find out TS of dicot stem. In that, you can find out 4 types of tissues. 4 types of tissues you can find out in the TS of dicot stem. That is meristematic tissue, dermal tissue, ground tissue, and vascular tissue. It's very important in the exam point of view, children. You also draw along with me, children. See here. Now I am drawing the outline of dicot stem. All of you draw like this. Don't use compass or don't use bangles, children. ఇలాగే రావాలి. Okay, now okay, you also draw along with me, children. This is very important in the exam point of view. Already this diagram you learnt in 8th class also, children. Now I am repeating. So this is the dermal tissue. You also draw along with me, children. So, if you will observe this picture, we can find out 4 types of tissues, children. This is meristematic tissue. Meristematic tissue. The tissue which covers plants known as dermal tissue. the tissue present third tissue, that is called vascular tissue, and last tissue, fourth tissue, called ground tissue. So if you will observe in this picture, we can find out four types of tissues, children. So in TSF dichotomous, we can find out meristematic tissue. This is helpful to increase the growth of plant, whether it is length or breadth wise. Dermal tissue, which will give protection to the plant from external environmental conditions and entry of parasites. Vascular tissue, which helpful for transport of water and food. So this tissue, vascular tissue, this vascular tissue we can find out two types, that is one is xylem, second one is phloem. Both xylem phloem united together is called vascular tissue, vascular bundle. They present one upon another, no, that is called vascular bundle. Vascular means transport. Ground tissue helps to perform photosynthesis and also will give mechanical strength to the plants. So these are the four types of tissues which you can find out in TSF dicot stem, transverse section of dicot stem. When you will cut the dicot stem horizontally, and if you look at the microscope, we can find out four types of tissue. You also draw, children, along with me. This is very important in the exam point of view. Already you learned about this diagram in 8th class also. Okay, cell its structure, cell the basic unit of life there, no? In second unit already this diagram is there. In this class, 9th class also you have to prepare well. Now I will explain keywords, children. All of you open page number 21. So after completion of keywords, we complete second lesson. Okay. All of you open page number 21. There you can find out some keywords, children. Now I will explain about the keywords. Tissue. First keyword, children. Tissue means a group of cells which have similar structure and perform similar functions. If you will observe multicellular organisms, we can find out a organization, that is cells, tissues, organs, organ systems, organism. A tissue means a group of cells which have similar structure and perform similar function. Next one is meristematic tissue. The tissue which present in the tip of root and tip of shoot. Shoot means stem, which helpful to increase the plant size, whether it is lengthwise or breadthwise. That is called a meristematic tissue. Here in meristematic tissue we can find out three subtissues, that is apical meristematic tissue, lateral meristematic tissue, and intercalary meristematic tissue. Apical meristematic tissue present in the tip of root and tip of shoot, which helps to increase the plant size lengthwise. Apical meristematic tissue. Already explained about apical dominance. If terminal bud is present, lateral branches will not grow. That's why if you go to garden or parks, the gardener removing the tips of the branches with the help of cutter. What is the reason behind this? This helps to produce lateral branches. This lateral meristematic tissue helps to increase the width of the plant, breadth of the plant. Intercalary meristematic tissue helps to produce fruits and flower stalks. So this is about meristematic tissue, apical meristematic tissue, lateral meristematic tissue, intercalary meristematic tissue. Apical meristematic tissue helps to increase the size of plant in lengthwise. Lateral meristematic tissue helps to increase the width of or breadth of plant. Intercalary meristematic tissue helps to produce branches, fruits and flower stalks. This is about meristematic tissue. Dermal tissue. So if you will observe, the cells of dermal tissue are compactly arranged or tightly packed. This dermal tissue helps to give protection to the plant, and also this dermal tissue also prevent the entry of parasites into the plants. Already I explained about bark. If you will observe the mature trees, the outer layer of bark, layer of stem will be removed. So that is called bark. What is meant by bark? In big trees like neem or tamarind or banyan tree, dermal tissue forms several layers above epidermis. So this is called bark. Bark is impervious to gases and liquids. Why bark is impervious? Impervious means not allow. What is the reason? In big trees like tamarind, neem, banyan tree, mango tree, this dermal tissue forms several layers above epidermis. So this is impervious to, that's why these many layers does not allows air or water inside of the plant through bark. Already I explained, according to the position, dermal tissue consists of three layers: ectoderm, mesoderm, endoderm. Ectoderm means outer layer, mesoderm is middle layer, endoderm is inner layer. These three layers perform three functions. So that is called dermal tissue. Dermal tissue also produce gums. In trees like neem produce gums. Gums are the waste material which produced from plants. Root hair also produced from dermal tissue of plants. Stomata also present in dermal tissue of plants. Okay. Waxy layer in desert plants also produced from dermal tissue of plants. Next one is epidermis, bark. Already I explained. Dermal tissue form, the outer layer of dermal tissue is called epidermis. Epidermis which helps to give protection to the plants. Bark, in big trees, dermal tissue forms several layers above epidermis, that is called bark. Bark is impervious means not allows gases and liquid children. Ground tissue, this is called last ground tissue. The plant which consists of bulk of plant body is known as ground tissue. Ground tissue consists of three types of tissues, children: parenchyma, collenchyma, sclerenchyma. Parenchyma, cells are loosely packed, thin cell walls they have. Collenchyma, cells are tightly packed, thick cell walls. Sclerenchyma, these are also compactly arranged or tightly packed cells with thick cell wall. If parenchyma consists of chloroplast, that is called chlorenchyma. If parenchyma have air spaces, that is called arenchyma. If parenchyma stores food material, that is called storage tissue. These three types of tissues, chlorenchyma, arenchyma, storage tissue, are the types of parenchymatous tissues. They have several functions. Okay, so this is called ground tissue. Ground tissue present bulk of plant body. Ground tissue consists of parenchyma, collenchyma, sclerenchyma. Again, parenchyma consists of chlorenchyma, arenchyma, and storage tissue. Next one is vascular tissue. Here, that is called vascular tissue. Third tissue called vascular tissue. Vascular, the word vascular indicates transport. Here, we can find out two types of tissue, which group of cells, no? That is called xylem and phloem. Xylem transport water from roots to all parts of the plant. Phloem transport food from leaves to all parts of the plant. That's why leaves known as food factory of plant. The manufactured food present in the leaf transported to all parts of the plant with the help of tissue known as phloem. Xylem phloem united together is called vascular bundle. Xylem is a tissue. Tissue means group of cells, no? Xylem also consists of different cells like tracheids, vessels, fibers, and xylem parenchyma. Phloem also consists of different cells, that is sieve cells, sieve tubes, companion cells, phloem parenchyma. So xylem will give mechanical strength to the plant. Phloem will not give mechanical strength to the plant. Both united together is called vascular bundle. This xylem and phloem very important in 10th class point of view also, children. So in 10th class also that is very important. Both, that is called vascular tissue. Next one is vascular bundles. Both xylem and phloem united together is called vascular bundle. So vessels are the cells which present in the xylem. So this is about 4 types of tissues in plant, children. That is meristematic tissue, dermal tissue, vascular tissue, and ground tissue. This is about plant tissues in second lesson. Okay. In the next class, I will start animal tissues, that is third lesson, children. Okay. Thank you, children.